Hello, greetings. So, this is a Gorean topic. And as you know, at least those that know me, that follow what I write on Gorean message boards and these videos I make, know that I have been a pretty big advocate of not seeing being a Gorean lifestyler as part of BDSM. But somebody has made to me a pretty good argument for the other view. So I want to address that argument in this video. So the argument that the said person made, I generally don't say names of people on my videos because some people don't like that, but yeah, if you should happen to watch this video, you know what you know who you are, and yeah, thank you for making me think. The argument they made was that, yeah, sort of, they can see the point that being a Gorean is about more than just the BDSM stuff. You know, most people come to the lifestyle through BDSM. And yeah, I can't really make an argument against that because it's sort of true. Of the people I know who are Gorean, at least 90% have come to the lifestyle some way through BDSM. And he also made the argument that while you have a lot of philosophy within the books, they do focus a whole lot on the slavery aspect. And I can't argue against that either. So let me try to address this point. Now, the idea that people come to the Gorean lifestyle through BDSM. Yeah, I mean, that's how I got into it. I were a pretty eager participant on the Color Me forum, who have now sadly died. 5 minutes silence for Color Me. You will be missed. You were killed by poor moderatorship. That's the word. Anyway, I was a pretty common face there. And so I had heard the word gore because people were talking about it, and to be quite honest, a lot of the people I met who going to be Goreans were assholes. And I have had a few videos where I talk about the keyboard warrior type Goreans who tend to antagonize everybody else. But anyway, I typed the word into my little search engine and it popped up science fiction novels. And I was thinking, hey, kinky science fiction, and there are people that don't age, and there are insectoid aliens, and there are spaceships, and there are giant talking spiders. I gotta get these books! So I got those books, and I sat down and I read them, and at first I went like this. Because they were infuriating to me as a woman. And then I went like this when I saw some of the science fiction elements I really liked. And then I went like this again when the books basically you expect from reading all sort of books that the horrible people that enslave others will be beaten down in the end and good win, but it didn't happen. And then I really started enjoying them because I realized they were so different. I had a different morality to them. They weren't politically correct. There was something different here. So I continued reading, and there were two things that really happened while I was reading them. For me, the first though is that I started feeling like a girl. I mean, I've always been a tomboy. I couldn't care less about dressing up. As long as my clothes were whole and clean, I didn't give a shit. However, reading the books made me basically appreciate my femininity more. And that was great. And another part of me really liked philosophy because I recognize so much from Viking ideas there. So I started talking with Goreans that I did indeed meet on message boards to do with BDSM, and slowly I got into the lifestyle that way. Little bit of an off-topic thing here, but yeah. So definitely, if I hadn't been on Colory, which is or was, must that form rest in peace in obsolete computer program heaven. Basically, if I hadn't been on Color Me, I probably would never have heard about Goreans. And I think there's so many people who have that story. And I see that a lot of people I know who are Goreans, they began as BDSMers, and then they sort of were missing something. So, and then I found Gore, and I felt like they were coming home. So, yeah. And I can see the point of that thing basically, that the person I was talking to is definitively right. If you read the books, there are, I mean, if you were going to make those cake slice type graphs things for the gore books, it would be like this big a section that is female slavery, bondage, and things about that. Then you have this much that is about the philosophy about honor and all of that. Then you have a little bit about spaceship, a little bit about aliens battling one another, and then we go back to the slaves. So I can definitely see how, if you come at it from the viewpoint of just the gore books, that it can feel very much like a BDSM type lifestyle. Just like, for example, old leather guard and old guard, as it's usually called them, oh, taken in hand, and all of these different BDSM based lifestyles. I think the reason why I don't feel that it should be considered a BDSM lifestyle is this. If you, for example, have somebody who are Roman reconstructionists, try to reconstruct living as Romans as much as they can in the modern world, then slavery would be a part of that because it was a huge part of society. So if somebody then said, okay, I really like to live as much as I can and the lifestyle of an ancient Roman, with the religion and customs and as much as I can in the modern world, um, but I want to keep a slave, and you have another person that says, I really feel like this is something for me, but I identify as a slave. I wouldn't call that a BDSM lifestyle because it's so much more. It's the religion, it's the philosophy, it's the way you think about life, it's the social norms, it's all of those things that make up society, and one little sphere of that is the slavery. Well, in BDSM, that's the point. Look at it this way. A little bit of a geeky example. Difference between a computer game convention and a electronics convention. In a computer game convention, that would be like BDSM. It's all about the computer games. It's computer games, computer game equipment, it's computer games, computer games, computer games. That is the point. While it's something like Gore, or like I said, a Roman or a Viking lifestyle, the point would then be the lifestyle, the religion, so on. So that would be more like the electronics convention, where you had about radios and TVs and robotic vacuum cleaners and all of that, but you also have about computer games. But you can't say it's all about the computer games because it's about all of the things that has to do with electronics, and computer games are a little bit a part of it, and that's like Gore. So that's why I feel that it's not a BDSM lifestyle. But yeah, I do definitely get the point that so many of the people have come to it from a BDSM. See, can I adjust my camera? There we go! Yay! Uh, Basically come at it from a BDSM background. And I guess some of the points why I can't completely identify with that is that for me, I feel that you cannot just take the gore books. Yes, if you get to take just the gore books, then there's a lot of slavery aspects in that they are kinky, kinky books. There's a reason why they are now sold as erotica, even if Jan Norman says, "Oh no, no, it's not erotica books." Yeah, they are. But uh, for somebody, especially somebody who identifies as a Gorean philosopher like me, you have to look at other pieces of philosophy, like the early works of Nietzsche. Yeah, like I mentioned, Greco-Roman, Viking. The concepts of how the saints live, Native Americans, all of the different cultures that are been inspirations for the Gore books, and also other philosophers has been inspiration for the books. And when you look at that as well and use that to form a complete philosophy, then the slavery aspect becomes a very small part of it. Therefore, I sort of feel that calling, going back to My Little Geek example, it's that calling Gore a BDSM lifestyle becomes the same as calling it calling basically an electronics convention for a computer game convention, even if a lot of people come to the electronics convention because they like computer games and are there for the computer game stands. It still sort of devaluates all the other parts of said convention if you call it all a computer game convention. I mean, are you getting what I'm saying here? It's like calling it just a BDSM lifestyle sort of ignores all the other great parts of it. So, I will, however, add that I do think that there's nothing wrong with being Gorean BDSMers. Basically, if you understand, I think there's many different ways to be a Gorean, and I have been more tolerant about this. Basically, this discussion I had with this person has sort of made me more tolerant of this. Let me try to explain what I mean. I feel that you have Gorean reconstructionists. Those are the ones that try to basically recreate as much as they can the life lived by by Goreans in the books. Of course, I can't do it completely because we don't have giant eagles to fly to work with. We don't have spaceships flown by giant insects and all of those things, unfortunately. But trying to make it as much as I can. They are just like reconstructionists of like Greco-Roman cultures and so on and so forth. And then you have people like me who are Gorean philosophers who tries to live by the philosophy, but I don't really include a lot of the other elements for the books. For example, I'm a free woman, I have earrings, I show cleavage, I do all of those things because it's the philosophy. And I mean, you might as well call me a modern Viking. It's just that Gore is a nice name for it because I like the combination of various philosophy is that you can find there. But I have also become more tolerant of people that are, what should we call it, kink Goreans. Yeah, let's call them that. And My, aren't I naming things today? Basically, people who take only the kinky part of Gorean lifestyle, so they have a BDSM relationship, but they take the Gorean, uh, they take how slavery and master slavery relationship is presented in the Gore books, and they include that on their lives. And I think that is okay. I mean, before I have been sort of against them calling themselves Goreans, but I do realize the error of my ways, and I'm more okay with them calling themselves Gorean. What I have a problem with is when people say that is the only thing Gore is. I think that, yes, for some people, they can be inspired by the Gore books to have that as part of their BDSM lifestyle. And I do think that perhaps that's what's fit for the majority of people that are inspired by the books, because a majority of the people come to it from a BDSM background. But I think that the lifestyle can be so much more, and to say it's just a BDSM lifestyle, that becomes wrong, even if it is so for many people. So, yeah, I do agree. A lot of Goreans do come into the lifestyle from a BDSM background. And basically, Gore teen BDSM, it's completely okay. But I still feel that calling the Gorean lifestyle for a BDSM lifestyle is like calling a basically electronics convention for a computer game convention. It just ignores all the other great parts. So yeah, I know again, a bit rambly videos. Some of my videos have been that lately, but it's basically my 2 cents on that. I do recognize that so many Goreans do come to this lifestyle through BDSM, so ignoring that would be wrong. But still think it's so much more. I mean, to make another example, it's the same thing again with Wicca. If you some people say, oh, Wicca witchcraft, and that's the only thing they look at it as. It's the magic, it's the spells, it's the witchcraft. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the magic and the spells and the witchcraft. But Wicca is also so much more. It's a religion, it's a philosophy, it's a lifestyle. And to just call it witchcraft becomes wrong. And it's the same thing with for I mean, I guess for some people it can be BDSM, just BDSM, but at the same time, that is not how a lot of people live it. I mean, in our household, there are no slaves, and that's not what it's about for me. Even if I did come, even if I did encounter gore through BDSM. So yeah, ramble as it might be, that are my 2 cents on it. Take it for what you will. And again, some people have said I try to push my opinion down their necks. No, no. I can only present my opinion on the various Gorean stuff I discuss, and it's up to you to take all the things from all the sources you come across and form your own opinion. So yeah, I hope you have a great day, and blessed be.